हाँ चलो चाय पीते हैं। आओ, आज का पॉडकास्ट मुझे शिफ्ट करना पड़ रहा है सीट, मुझे ऐसे ऐसे ऐसे
You'll have your lights, I guess.
Yeah. हाँ yeah.
मुझे ये पकड़ लो ना। बाबूजी को बोलो मैं जल्दी से पॉडकास्ट करता। मैसेज कर दो, वो फोन कर रहे थे। Finally we get to get this. I'm so sorry. आपने कुछ खाया? अब शीतल इनका पूरा ख्याल रखना, ठीक है विजय? इनको प्रॉपर ब्रेकफास्ट देना, इसके बाद बेचारे ने कुछ नहीं किया है। कावा पियोगे साथ साथ? यहाँ पर कावा
नहीं,
कावा कॉफी?
मैम बाद
में। अच्छा ठीक है, सब कुछ।
आप माइक देख लो एक बार।
Come. My very dear friend of mine, Soumya. We're just doing a quick podcast. Love you, sweetheart.
हाँ.
So I mean, one just learns something every single day. कितने सारे कहानियाँ हैं. He was a great master chef himself. So that's a secret again. And यहाँ पे parties होते थे इसी lawn में.
Okay.
जहाँ पे महाराजा साहब लाते थे people from other states. Mm-hmm. So Maharajas from other states would come, Tikanas would come. And फिर दादा साहब यहाँ पे cooking के करते थे. Okay. And he used to show कि हमारे जम्मू का खाना कितना अच्छा है. And then he would pick up recipes from other states and really promote it. Mm-hmm. It's amazing that, इतने सालों के बाद हम भी हरी निवास में ही, I live here. And I feel his energy and Dadi Ma's energy almost every day because, and I thank them, मैं उनको शुक्राना करती हूँ रोज because it's a big platform that we've been given and it's a very responsible platform. Also, I must tell you that the instrument of accession was signed in this building.
Okay.
So that's historic. And Dada Sahab used to spend his winters, 6 months of the year here. He was at Mubarak Mandi, that is where his coronation happened. But he never believed in ostentatious living. So he wanted a very simple, almost barrack style building. तो ये building तब बनी थी, हरी निवास.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Pausecast. जैसे कि आप पीछे देख सकते हैं, we are not in our studio क्योंकि we thought कि on the occasion of महाराजा हरि सिंह birthday हम एक स्पेशल एपिसोड करें उन्हीं की किसी फैमिली मेंबर के साथ. So we are honored and privileged to have Kunwrani Ritu Singh for today's podcast. आज के एपिसोड में हमने बहुत ज़्यादा बातें की हैं रिलेटेड टू जम्मू के रिलीजन के बारे में, उनकी हेरिटेज के बारे में, उनकी क्यूजीन्स के बारे में. तो आई होप आपका आज का पॉडकास्ट बहुत ही फ्रूटफुल और अच्छा लगेगा, स्पेशली फॉर द पीपल ऑफ जम्मू. आगे बढ़ने से पहले, इफ यू आर न्यू टू दिस चैनल, प्लीज डू सब्सक्राइब एंड लेट्स गेट स्टार्ट. Ma'am, first of all, thank you so much for doing the podcast. It's an honor to have you.
Jayadeva, and welcome home to Hari Niwas. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. I have been enjoying your podcasts. I've been watching a few. And I have to say I'm very proud of you. You're so young and it's so wonderful to see girls like you and coming out and doing such fantastic work in Jammu. Very proud of you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Before starting, हमारी ऑडियंस को पता है कि आप क्या हैं, कौन हैं, लेकिन still a brief introduction आपकी तरफ से अगर मिलेगा, that will be honor.
Okay. So, Jayadeva, for all those who have not met me and I haven't met, I just want to say a big thank you first. मेरी ज़िंदगी सबसे पहले there are 3 principles in which I like to lead my life. From a very young age, I was told Shukrana, Shabad and Simran. So from a very, very young age, I had a lot of values that were instilled into my way of life. And I was born to a set of parents. My father was Punjabi. I lost him 7 years ago. My mother is half Punjabi, half Maharashtrian. I got married to my wonderful husband, Maharaja Hari Niwas Singh, who is Dogra, and my mother-in-law was from Nepal. So I think national integration has happened at its best here, right here. Log mujhe kehte hain, sometimes they ask me, where are you from? And so I start singing the national anthem because I say ki, in a way, God has been so kind that I have been able to imbibe a little bit of culture from almost every region. And as a young girl, I got married at the age of 19 to my husband, and we were in school together. And that's how we met. We went to a boarding school called Lawrence School, Sanar. And that's where the two of us met. And I believe nothing in life is a coincidence. It's destiny, And बहुत सालों के बाद मुझे समझ आई मैं क्यों आई हूँ यहाँ जम्मू में और कौन मुझे यहाँ लाके, who brought me to Jammu. I trace it all down to one force, and that is Mahakali. I was born in Calcutta. एंड वहाँ पे हमारे दुर्गा पूजा बहुत ही शान धान से मनाया जाता था, धूमधाम से. एंड द देवी फॉर्स वाज अ वेरी बिग फॉर्स, And as a young girl, I was fascinated by this, pandals, and the whole atmosphere was so energetic that I used to tell my father, take me down, I want to be a part of this, And Mahakali's temples in Calcutta are very famous. Durga Puja to bahut mante hain. Then my father moved to Delhi, and I had a neighbor by the name of Asha Aunty, and she was a devout of Mata Vaishno Devi. And I, by sheer coincidence, again, no coincidence, I think it was destiny, I was a little kanjak.
Okay.
And I used to go to our house during the Navratras as a kanjak. And the entire energy there again just mesmerized me, And I loved her, and I started, serving her at a very young age. Post the time that I could be a kanjak, I started keeping her vrat. Nobody from my family really kept the vrat, we were all very religious in a different sort of way, but not ritualistic. But somehow something drew me to this energy force, and I became a Bhakt of Mata Rani. The first time I ever visited her was when I went to her shrine and got the privilege to go to her, do a darshan, was when I was in year 10. And to be honest, I'm going to let you into a little secret, that I only went with a selfish purpose. I hadn't studied at all.
Okay.
And I was extremely naughty. I was going through a very naughty phase in my life. So मैंने कहा, किसी ने कहा, जब आप माता रानी के यहाँ जाते हो और कुछ मांगते हो, पूरी होती है. So I said, माता रानी, मैंने आपकी सेवा तो कर ली है, कंजक के रूप में, प्लस मैं व्रत रखती हूँ, आपको बहुत प्यार करती हूँ. अब आप मुझे किसी ना किसी तरह से एक मिरेकल करिए. And let me pass my examination because my results are around the corner. आप प्लीज़ करिए. उन ज़मानों में पगडंडियाँ होती थी. It was not so developed, माता रानी क्या. तो मैं गई, and आप यकीन नहीं करेंगे, I'm sure my paper was mixed with somebody else's. जब result आई, I didn't only pass, but I got super marks, And my belief and my faith just deepened so much. I said, my God, I know this was nothing short of a miracle, So I started visiting her a lot. I started coming almost twice a year, sometimes thrice a year, and बुलावा आ गया. And ऐसे बुलावा आया कि मैं एक बहू के रूप में, she literally took me from my parental home and brought me here as a bahu. From that day onwards, a woman's gotra changes after she gets married, right? And I came from a very different background. My father was self-made. He started his own businesses. He was a corporate and a very intelligent, super brainy person who actually he was an IIT graduate, but very self-made post the partition. And he belonged to there were 6 brothers, but they all sort of started their lives post-partition, and each one made a mark for himself. My mother came from a very illustrious family. My Nanaji was the chief of army staff, and General Shri Nagesh, that's where the Maharashtrian connect is. And he served the country. He was extremely patriotic. So my Nani, my Nana, my father, Papa, as I used to call him, my mother, have played a huge influence in my life, And I think just growing up with them with such a huge value set taught me and gave me very, very good roots, And then I had the protection of Devi Ma, who was always with me. She's a big part of my life, revolves around that force. And I just kept saying shukrana to her when I came here as a bride. I said, Ma, aapne mujhe kabil samjha. That you brought me, I did not come from a royal family at all. And then to be part of it, and a lineage like this, which I'm so very proud of, you have to have done something in the past that connects you. And I do believe that karmically, my husband and I are meant to be together. I love Jammu as if it was my own. At the age of 19, you're very young. So this has become my home, And I love the people, I love the culture, I love food, I love everything about Jammu. Jammu and the entire region. Yahan pe roz mujhe I learn something new, I think our culture is so beautiful. We are the land of Shiva and Shakti, as I've always said. Jammu and Kashmir both. And then we have Ladakh, of course, ab hum beauty hai. But Ladakh mein bhi Buddhism hai. So, we have Shaivism, we've got, Devi Bhakt ke to bahut hi hai. Hamare mandiron ko agar aap ek baar jaएं, we want to do something for the tourism, but for spiritual tourism as well, So there is a lot to explore in Jammu, and I feel people like us can actually make a change. Because for generations, our ancestors have done so very much. I'm learning everything about them now. I knew a lot about them, but there are new things that I'm learning. Every day that I go out, कोई ना कोई मुझे बताता है कि आपके दादा साहब ने ये किया, आपके परदादा ने वो किया, आपकी दादी माँ ने ये किया. So, I'm learning. I mean, I already knew a lot. And there's not much, there is a lot of history text, but when you meet people who've interacted with anybody from the family, you learn more beautiful stories, and it just reflects on who they were. And I just feel as part of a next generation, there is a lot, I'm duty bound, and it's my duty to carry that baton very sensitively and very consciously. So I definitely feel that I have so much, in a way there's pressure as well, but it's a beautiful pressure because I just feel how many people get a chance to take that baton forward. I represent a family that has done so very much for the region, so I can never match up to what they've done. So it's a very big benchmark that they've set for us. But in my own way, and my children, the next generation and generations to come, which is why I started education in Jammu 30 years ago. I felt education is a big tool to shape up generation next. And we managed to have a fantastic alumni. And wo bache bahut hi kar rahe hain aajkal. They're not children anymore. And they're very well placed, our alumni from Delhi Public School. I started it as saplings, and now, of course, it's DPS. So education was the first outreach that I did. And so I started from where the last ancestor left, कई चीज़ें अधूरे रह गए थे. जैसे कि हमारे दादा साहब महाराजा हरि सिंह जी, उन्होंने, he was a very forward thinking Maharaja, and उन्होंने कई चीज़ें इतने, he did things so differently and with a very modern approach, like he was the first one who let women, he did a lot for women empowerment, he did a lot. He did away with the caste system. Back in the day, he allowed every caste to come into our temples. Dharma Trust, हमारी family की trust है, जो मंदिरों को संभालते हैं. And those years it used to be very rigid, कि ये नहीं करना, वो नहीं करना. But he was able to break all boundaries, and he let every caste come into the mandir, and he did away with the caste system, which I think was the best thing he did. Then he was also very futuristic towards the education. The girl child, he did a lot for women. The best thing he did was at a round table conference in, you heard about that, जब ये Britain गए थे, and there was a round table conference, and they used to fill up their forms. और जहाँ लिखा था, what is your religion? He said justice. So देखिए ना उनके दूरदिशा कितनी थी. He was so forward thinking, and he did so much for the people of Jammu Kashmir. He loved the region. Sadly, history played not so good a role, I think it was very unkind what happened to him. But like they say, justice delayed is not justice denied. And maybe through our prayers and the goodwill of the people, Dal Sahab has a lot of goodwill. Aapne dekha hoga the way the holiday was declared, how people came out in masses. And जहाँ जहाँ मैं जाती हूँ और कहीं पता चल जाता है कि वो मेरे ससुर दादा हैं, तो ऑटोमेटिकली पीपल कम टू मी एंड से कि आपको पता है आपके ग्रैंडफादर ने हमारे लिए, हमारी फैमिली के लिए क्या किया. lot of people, he even started he opened up our boundaries. And recently I met a lot of Punjabi families who've been settled here in Jammu Kashmir, and the land and the businesses were given by Dada Sahab. I had the opportunity to go to Bombay some years ago, and there he used to participate in the races, and the Bombay races, which are very famous now. I happened to meet a gentleman there, Cyrus Poonawala ji, and we were in the race course, and we were doing a cup, trying to revive Maharaja Hari Singh ji's cup. And he told me that one of the prize horses was gifted by Dada Sahab to him, and the Serum Institute started with that one horse. So, one just learns something every single day. Kitne sare kahaniyan hai. He was a great master chef himself. So that's a secret again. And यहाँ पे parties होते थे इसी lawn में, जहाँ पे Maharaja साहब लाते थे people from other states. So Maharajas from other states would come, Tikanas would come, and फिर दादा साहब यहाँ पे cooking के करते थे. And he used to show कि हमारे जम्मू का खाना कितना अच्छा है. And then he would pick up recipes from other states and really promote it. Then he was a big connoisseur of music as well. तो मलिका पुखराज जी को उन्होंने बहुत encourage किया. उन्होंने बहुत ही he encouraged art, culture, literature, everything apart from the major big things that he did. He was culturally very, very forward, and he did a lot. So it's amazing that इतने सालों के बाद हम भी हरी निवास में ही I live here, and I feel his energy and Dadi Ma's energy almost every day, because and I thank them, मैं उनको शुक्राना करती हूँ रोज, because it's a big platform that we've been given, and it's a very responsible platform. Also, I must tell you that the instrument of accession was signed in this building. So that's historic. And Dada Sahab used to spend his winters, 6 months of the year here. He was at Mubarak Mandi, that is where his coronation happened. But he never believed in ostentatious living. So he wanted a very simple, almost barrack-style building. So ye building tab bani thi, Hari Niwas. And he wanted a simple, straightforward living. So a lot of history. These grounds have seen so much of history. Itne dignitaries yahan aaye hain. It's actually, when you walk on these lawns, it's you can go back into history, and then you can look ahead and say that let us create some more, So I really see Hari Niwas as a sthan that is going to provide with a lot, not only for tourism, but even culturally, historically. I hope this continues for many generations after me as well, and we are able to revive some of the age-old traditions of the family.
Yes. आपकी बात सुन के मुझे लग रहा है कि चलती जाएं क्योंकि बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ है जो हमें नहीं पता है. आई होप इस पॉडकास्ट के ज़रिए पता चले. आपने जैसे अभी बोला कि यू वर नॉट फ्रॉम द रॉयल फैमिली. हाउ डू यू टेक इट एज, जैसे आप बाहर लोगों से मिलते हैं, देन पीपल ग्रीट यू एज अ रॉयल, तो आप उनको कैसे लेते हैं?
Now let me tell you, like I told you, I was not born into a royal family at all. As far as the lineage is concerned, royal lineage is concerned, I didn't have that. But my family taught me so much, and they've contributed to the nation. And strangely, my Nanaji contributed a lot towards Jammu Kashmir. The Georgila Pass, I was recently with the GOC in Kashmir, and I recently learnt about all the contributions that Nanaji had made. And interestingly, I must tell you that Delhi ka jo ghar tha, mere Nana ji and where my mother lived as a teenager was the army house. And it's on Rajaji Marg. In the good old days, it was Rajaji Marg. So, unke bilkul samne one Rajaji Marg hai, jahan pe my grandfather-in-law, Dada Sahab, Maharaja Hari Singh ji and Maharani Tara Devi ji used to live. It was Kashmir House. So, mazak mein meri nani ji aur mere Dada Sasur एक दूसरों को बहुत अच्छे से जानते थे, and they were very close because they were planning on everything on how to keep the borders secure. So my Nana ji worked very closely with him. I did not know this till much later. And उन्होंने क्या किया, बाद में एक मजाक बना हमारी, my mother-in-law jokingly when she asked for my hand said कि हमें क्या पता था कि सामने वाली खिड़की में हमारी बहू बारात वही जाएगी एक दिन. So, I have to tell you that though I didn't come from the background that my husband came from, initially there was a lot of adjustment that one had to do, because traditionally I came from a very warm, very, very huge family structure. And then we came to a slightly smaller family, in the sense the number of members in the family were small, and we were the youngest. Yeah. We were the youngest, but my in-laws are extremely forward-thinking people. My father-in-law, as you know, I don't pukaro his name traditionally. I cannot take his name, but Bapuji, as we fondly call him, he just took me into the family fold so beautifully. And my mother-in-law and I had a very special relationship. She and I were spiritually also connected through Sai Baba. I'll talk about my spiritual journey some other time. I would love to share with you my experiences there. Adjustments karne the, and the Rajput community also had its own traditions. But like I said, I was 19, and it was very easy for me to adjust and make those adjustments. And I'm able to follow the traditions beautifully. I think I've also brought a bit of element of freshness into the family, the perspectives of really being amongst the people without having any barriers. Yeah. So I think, I've received a lot, and I'm able to give a lot of myself. Okay. So that has been amazing. And yes, there was a lot of differences initially. And I did find it very, very hard, because I came from a very, very different sort of space. And here there were many more traditions and all of that. But I think I've been able to adjust beautifully. And I'm so grateful to my in-laws and the rest of my family, my husband's family, who just embraced me so graciously. And I didn't feel any different, actually. मुझे कभी ऐसे feeling नहीं आई कि I don't belong, or I'm being treated in a certain way that I shouldn't be treated. Because प्यार और इतनी इज्जत और इतनी faith के साथ my in-laws brought me. So I'm a very dutiful person when it comes to family traditions. And मैंने सब कुछ निभाया. और आज मैं सबको कहना चाहती हूँ कि royalty is there in the history books and everything. But being royal is something everyone can be. आपकी सोच, आपके व्यवहार, आपके जो how you treat people and how you lead your life. Even the most ordinary person is royal. Exactly. I feel that person. I do feel that personally. You don't have to have a tag attached to you. Yes, I'm very privileged. I think we are very privileged that I can say that, I have such a huge lineage of history with my husband's family. But if I'm not able to carry that history forward and turn it into the future history, then it wouldn't have been nice. But, luckily I'm able to somehow or the other hold that baton in a very conscious manner and say to myself that, I have somebody to answer to, I mean, my husband's ancestors have done so much. Also, when I came from my family, I am responsible for my own lineage, My parents, I am carrying that responsibility कि मेरे parents ने भी मुझे हमेशा कहा कि जब आप अपने ससुराल में जाओगे, आप बहुत ही you have to be extremely respectful and remember कि हमारा नाम भी जुड़ा हुआ है आपके साथ. तो कभी भी हमें don't let us down, So I think the responsibility that my father instilled in me कि आपने, you are what you represent, and you come from a family that has taught you so much, उसी को आगे बढ़ा के ले जाइए. And उस family में आप adjust करना, आपका गोत्रा, when he did my कन्यादान, उन्होंने कहा बेटा कभी भी don't let me down or let your husband down. अब आपका घर दूसरा है, and we are your parents. Our home is always open to you, but उसी घर को आपने चलाना है. And it's a woman who makes or breaks a home. And I feel I've been able to very beautifully weave the threads of love that came from my home into this home. And I hope that my children are a beautiful balance of both cultures. And we've been able to intermarry our cultures beautifully, both my husband and me.
Exactly, ma'am. Yes. मैम, आपने अभी बहुत ज़्यादा कहानियाँ सुनाई हमें, जो हमें एक्चुअली नहीं पता थी महाराजा जी के बारे में, आपकी फैमिली के बारे में. ऐसी कुछ मेमोरीज हैं आपके पास जो बुक्स में हमें नहीं मिलेंगी, लेकिन यू वांट टू शेयर
about
जी
about my ancestors?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
about me, about my ancestor, who would you like to hear about?
About you and your family.
Me, I've already told you a few things which I think no book will write, that I went to Mata Rani first to tell me to pass, That was a fun story. Then I also told you about Dada Sahab, that the instrument of accession was signed here, very much here in this very building. Then I told you about the cooking parties that happened here, how fantastic he was. Malika Pukhraj ji ka, you heard about the Malika Pukhraj story, right? What honor my grandfather gave her.
Yes.
Like that, even Dadi Ma, Maharani Tara Devi ji, jinka sab kuch Amar Mahal Museum mein aap dekhenge. Unka jo kamra tha. Now she was into women empowerment at a very, very, back in the day. वो बहुत काम करती थी औरतों के लिए. And she used to have satsangs here. Every evening ये घर पूरा भरा होता था with all the ladies of Jammu, and she used to do, in fact she worked a lot with my grandmother also. मेरी नानी जी भी आवा चलाती थी उस ज़माने में. And दादी माँ ने बहुत सारा सेवा की औरतों के लिए. She used to get them all together and do skill development, and छोटी छोटी चीज़ें बनाती थी उस ज़माने में, डोगरी कुर्ते, डोगरी वो, and then she used to buy from them as well. तो उन्होंने कई सारी चीज़ें शुरू की थी यहाँ पे. And then my mother-in-law also carried that forward. She used to run something called the Jammu Club, Ladies Club. तो माँ ने भी बहुत कुछ किया. उसके बाद I came here and I said, now I have to fill up those shoes, and big shoes to fill up, right? तो मैंने भी छोटे कदम लिए, and I also tried to contribute there. But this house has seen amazing history. हमने from Lord Mountbatten to many dignitaries. The Duke of Edinburgh, he had come here. So when you go to the Amar Mahal Museum, you will be able to get a lot of your information there. But कई सारे चुटकुले हैं हमारे. And I've really enjoyed my journey so far. It's been almost 34 years that I've come in here as a bahu, and I don't consider myself as a bahu just of this family, but I am the bahu of Jammu. So I feel I belong, And I hope to turn this place very soon. You'll see Hari Niwas is going to come back in time, We're going to go back in time, and this is going to showcase Jammu and its history beautifully. So जगह मैं इसकी पूरी history निकाल के आपको दिखाऊंगी कि, and all the food, the culture, the traditions. We are going to be promoting a lot of local artists. यहाँ पे इतने अच्छे गायिका हैं. हमारे जम्मू के culture आप जानते हैं कि untapped talent बहुत है, and that is what we are doing. अभी भी जो musicians यहाँ आते हैं, हम सूफी भी पेश करते हैं शाम को, and these are all by street artists. Yeah, so we are empowering those. We are also running an NGO by the name of Maharaja Hari Singh Foundation, जिसमें हम outreaches करते हैं socially, social entrepreneurship. Yes, we are doing a lot for healthcare, education, digital literacy, financial literacy, women's empowerment. बहुत सारे हम काम कर रहे हैं. So there are many stories. Maharaja Hari Singh ji was a man of great. He was one of the most principled people you will ever find. एक बारी मैं एक छोटा सा कहानी बताती हूँ. एक बारी मैंने सुना था कि some Maharajas had come for one of the cooking feasts, and ये लोग they were going from Jammu to Udhampur. And convoy जा रही थी. रास्ते में I will not name that state because it will lead to embarrassment. But one of the Maharajas had actually stopped the car, and I think कोई खूबसूरत लड़कियाँ जा रही थी. So apparently one of them, I think, had commented on one of the girls कि इतनी सुंदर है, she's beautiful. So जब दादा साहब को पता चला, he got to know that somebody from outside had commented, just commented, nothing else, on the beauty of one of the girls. He stopped the convoy, and he instructed that Maharaja be sent back and never be allowed back in the state. Never. So I'm trying to highlight what Dada Sahab's character was all about. He considered Jammu people his own, and he used to fight till his last breath for them. Then beautifully I heard the other day, मैं गई थी बावे वाले माँ, और वहाँ पे किसी ने मुझे कहा कि आपको पता है आपके दादा साहब के समय में मैं काम करता था. And I said, all right. And he was somebody called Milap Singh ji. I met him at Bawe Wali Mata 5 years ago. And he told me that I had come to Hari Niwas, and I used to be with Maharaja Sahib. And he said I went with him to Bombay also when he was, when he moved from Jammu. And he said he had instructed me that if I pass away, and when I pass away, if it happens here in Bombay, मेरे जो भी अस्थियां हैं वो आप हेलीकॉप्टर में ले जाएंगे, and you will make sure that the asthis are strewn all over the state, Jammu Kashmir, because मेरा प्यार and I belong there, right? So when he passed away, his ashes were actually brought by plane and strewn across the entire region. Only one part of the physical asthi was taken to Hari ki Pauri, है ना, एक ही छोटा सा हिस्सा. तो he was so attached to his people, and even though history has been a little unkind to him, I would say, I hope he gets justice. So because it may be denied, but it's not late. And I just feel Dada Sahab has done way too much for all of us and for everybody, not just in Jammu, but Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh. And the rest of the ancestors have also done a lot. So this is something which I really touched my heart. It actually made me very emotional because I said, look at the man back in the day. कैसे उन्होंने सोचा कि यहाँ से भी उनको भेजा गया था. He was sent in a very unscrupulous way. And but look at his character. कि उन्होंने कहा कोई बात नहीं. Once I'm gone, please make sure my ashes are in every region of Jammu Kashmir, because I was from there and I go back there, you know. So that's one of the tales that I wanted to talk about. Dadi Ma ke liye bhi main kehna chahti hu. She came from Himachal and she did a lot for the armed forces also. A lot, you know. Borders ke liye bhi kiya. Abhi bhi main Suchetkar gayi thi. तो वहाँ पे retreat होता है. And in the retreat they announce Dada Sahab's name. And because उन ज़मानों में सियालकोट होता था, it was the trading point. And वहाँ पे एक railway station होती थी. And all the trade of Jammu Kashmir started from there. It was an open trade. And can you imagine how forward thinking? तब उन्होंने industry शुरू किया जम्मू कश्मीर में. और सुचेतकर में मुझे सुनने में ही आया. So every day, like I said, I'm learning each and every day. रोज कोई चुटकुले में सुनने, you know, I learn something. So yeah, that's a few of the tales that I have lots, but you know, I think we are constrained with time. And I would love to tell you lots more about them. But these are just little things that I feel these are not written in history books, but they've happened.
Yeah.
Yes. You know.
I'm feeling very, very, very proud. इतनी कहानियाँ सुन के. मैम, जब आपने जैसे अभी बोला कि उनको जस्टिस नहीं मिला, I feel कि उनको अब हमारी जनरेशन के थ्रू जस्टिस मिल रहा है. जैसे हमें पिछले साल पता चला था कि we declared a holiday. What do you think about it?
See, I feel, that's what I just told you at the start of the podcast, that people are now, like I said, justice delayed is not justice denied. And finally, I feel कि लोगों को पता चल रहा है कि हमारे, and they've got a sense of belonging back again, Jammu के लोग. And they are giving him back that respect. You saw how people came out on the streets. I personally felt not just a holiday is fantastic, and it was really great that they've given this in his name, but I feel Dada Sahab has done so much for the region that we must carry that legacy forward. And it's not just me and our family. It is everybody in Jammu Kashmir. Even the way they've, you know, as soon as you enter Jammu now, we were the first ones. My husband and we were the first ones who installed a statue of a bust of Dada Sahab's right outside Delhi Public School. And after that, many mushroomed in the city. But now it's a matter of pride when you enter Jammu and you see Maharaja Gulab Singh Ji's statue at the border, right? So I think somewhere down the line, people are realizing what our ancestors have done, you know, right from Maharaja Gulab Singh's, Maharaja Gulab Singh Ji's tenure. You know, there is so much of history. Maharaja Ranbir Singh Ji, kitna unki contribution thi mandiron mein. All our beautiful mandirs are all been constructed by him. And then, of course, Maharaja Pratap Singh Ji has done so much. Maharaja Amar Singh Ji has done so much. Raja Ram Singh Ji, every one of our ancestors, and I'm sure their wives also, did a lot for the region. So next generation, नई पीढ़ी aware हो गई है, and I'm really happy. And I must say a very big thank you to all those people who, you know, contributed to the revival of Dada Sahab. You know, and I'm really happy. Even when I went to the BJP office the other day, I saw his bust there as well, his statue. In fact, जब अमित शाह जी भी आए थे, उन्होंने भी वहीं पे जाके श्रद्धांजलि की, फिर उन्होंने शुरू की थी. And हमारे Honorable Prime Minister ने way back, there was a Lalkar rally some years back. And when I heard what he said in Samba, he had said he had given Dada Sahab a lot of regard and honor. And I think after that, the movement started. So I'm happy to see the awareness. Basically, there was a lack of awareness. So if history books in schools and colleges, children are taught at a young age about the lineage and the history of their region, it would be very useful. Very useful. नहीं, बच्चों को पता होना चाहिए, because they are the ones who are going to carry. And कई बार हमारे बच्चों को इतना भी नहीं पता है कि जम्मू की फेमस चीज़ें क्या हैं, जम्मू का खाना में क्या मिलता है, सब कहते हैं. तो I was surprised the other day, an intelligent group of children I was interacting with, and they said कश्मीरी राजमा इतने टेस्टी हैं. And I said, yeah, Jammu ke rajma hai, you know. So people don't know about our ancient temples, our history. So I would encourage more and more heritage walks to happen, heritage talks to happen. अगर आप पूरी पुरानी सिटी में जाएंगे, कितना कुछ सीखने को मिलता है, you know. पंचतीर्थी onwards. I mean, there is so much to learn from our region, you know. परमंडल जाए, उत्तर बेनी जाए, सुध महादेव जाए. You know, you go to Kud, you go to Batot, you go to Bhadrava, you go to all the regions of Jammu. And हमारी सूर्यपुत्री इतनी सुंदर है, हमारी सूर्यपुत्री तभी माँ. She is the one who started the whole civilization here. I'm doing a lovely project for her as well. And I was happy to pioneer that as well. And तो ये चीज़ें हमारे culture के साथ, I think the next generation should be very proud. And you know, roots is a very big thing. And I think Jammu वापसी का भी हम एक project कर रहे हैं, जहाँ पे हम लोगों को बता रहे हैं how they should give back. You know, it's time to give back. And I think each one of us, if we get involved emotionally and to our region, there will be a positive change.
Exactly.
That's what I feel. And the next generation like you're doing a marvelous job. And thank you so much, you know, for being a medium to reach out to so many. And I hope this podcast actually will sort of make people realize, and more and more people join in to be proud of your heritage, be proud of who you are as people, because I love Jammu and I love the people of Jammu, and I absolutely think we should all love Jammu and be proud of who we are.
Exactly.
And not have an identity crisis ever. You know, this is your identity. Jammu is your identity. So live, breathe, and worship that every day.
Exactly. Ma'am, you are very much vocal about Jammu's development, heritage, Jammu last. Ma'am, being from here, आप इतना कुछ contribution वगैरह कर रहे हैं. If it's not a secret, what are the main projects that you are going to launch in Jammu for the development?
Okay, so I am going to launch my latest launch, which I haven't even announced as yet to the public, but we are starting a forum, which is going to take all the artisans of the region. And it's a platform, actually, more than a forum even. It's a platform where we're going to showcase the talent. We're tapping the talent of the region. And the first event of this is going to be through a show and a marketplace, where we are sort of bridging gaps between the local artisans, the talented designers of the region, food, clothes, culture, music, everything will be showcased. And that's going to happen on the first Navratra, on the 15th of October. It's called Runway Diaries. And we've collaborated with Vinita Thakurji of the Fashion Institute. And there's a girl called Ankita Bansal. She, her and me have been working very closely on this project. And we're going to launch that on the 15th of October, right here in Hari Niwas. And it is going to, the first edition is going to be a beautiful fashion show. But it's not just fashion. It's a lot of, our culture is going to be showcased. And we plan to put Jammu on the international map. So I'm going to make the first design council that Jammu will have, just to integrate it with the rest of the world fashion, you know. Because यहाँ पे आपने देखा हमारी डोगरी सूट्स कितने अच्छे बनते हैं. हमारी एम्ब्रॉयडरीज बसोली के भी आर्ट कितना खूबसूरत है. हमारा खाना, local food, we have a lot of good delicacies. आपके ओरिया, आपके थोत्रूज, आपके कितने सारी चीज़ें हैं. अम्बल, आपके क्या, I mean, the Jammu cuisine is huge, you know. So I want to sort of showcase the Jammu cuisine, the art and culture. हमारे गायिका बहुत सुंदर हैं यहाँ के. तो हमारे नुक्कड़ नाटक भी होते हैं. हमारे बहुत ही अच्छा age-old traditions हैं. So I want to showcase all of that by means of this show. And this show and the marketplace, we are going to integrate with the rest of the country and then take it international. So that's my latest. Yes, that's my newest plan. And apart from that, I plan to do many, many more things. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out time for us. For this podcast, I'm very, very, very grateful of you, and I hope you enjoyed the conversation.
Absolutely, and I don't want to let it. I don't want to end this because I think it's just the beginning, and maybe have a continued conversation, and with a wider audience. Let's all get together. Let's all have conversations. Let's all ideate. Let's all create a think tank for Jammu together. Let's all be collective and inclusive of each other because that's the only way we will grow.
Yeah,
alone, no one can do anything.
Yes.
So I would love for us all to be involved. And thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jaydev. Jaydev, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
ऑलराइट, ये थे हमारे साथ कुंवरानी रितु सिंह जी। हमने बहुत ज़्यादा बातें की हैं उनके साथ। अगर आप इस पॉडकास्ट के एंड तक हैं, आपको उनके फ्यूचर प्लान्स के बारे में पता चलेगा, उनकी थिंकिंग, उनके रिलेटेड टू जम्मू जितनी भी सोच है या फिर जो भी आगे वो करना चाहते हैं उनके बारे में आपको पता चलेगा। अगर आपके पास कोई भी सजेशन है हमारे लिए तो प्लीज़ डू कमेंट एंड शेयर दिस वीडियो, सब्सक्राइब, एंड वील सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट वन।